Hey, what's up? I'm Josh Kennedy. This is my 93 Cobra. A lot of people know me on Instagram as J Kennedy SVT. As you can see the car behind me, it's 93 teal, it's number 1729. If you know me, you know my story, you probably know I've owned this car twice. So this is the second time that I've had it. I originally bought the car in 2014 off of eBay. It was an eBay purchase. It had 12,000 original miles and I bought it for $18,000. So it's kind of crazy where the Cobras have went in the days, but I bought the car. Just such a clean original car that I was kind of nervous to drive and keep it, so wanted a red one, sold it, and bought a red Cobra, had it for a little while, modified it, and the guy that bought this car off me, we stayed good friends and kept in contact over the years and kind of followed his build as he was following my build. And 2018, right before Foxtoberfest, he called me and said, hey, you want to buy your car back? And I said, yeah, man, you know, if the price is right. So we worked out a deal and now it's back. So it's much different than what it was when I first sold it. It was completely stock and all original. Now it's pretty heavily modified, but I prefer it that way. You can enjoy the car more when it's modified and, you know, play around with it. Stock Cobras are nice, but it's a little bit more fun to have some boost. So to tell you a little bit about the car, it currently has 18,000 miles. It's full maximum motorsport suspension. It has the 0304 Cobra style brakes and calipers with bare rotors. Probably the biggest thing that everybody asks about the car, likes about the car, is the weld wheels. They're weld 18x8s in the front and 18x9.5 in the rear. The car itself, as far as like performance modifications, it has a T56 Magnum transmission. It's a Vortech V3 Heritage Series Supercharger. Pretty much stock pulley, 9 pounds of boost. AFR heads. TMOS ported upper and lower intake, and Pro M EFI computer system. A lot of stuff done to the car as far as, you know, just upgrades, hydro boost, aftermarket radiators and fans. Pretty much typical stuff. 410 rear gear. The car has dynoed 475 at the tires, 452 torque, and it's a fun street car. I mean, for, you know, stock bottom end 93 Cobra, it's, you know, runs pretty well and it's fun. So to touch a little bit on the history of this car, it was purchased new in Texas. It was a Texas car pretty much all of its life that I'm aware of, and then was picked up by a guy. And you know how these cars are, they kind of change hands a little bit. A lot of times they don't even get retitled again. They just kind of bounce around. A lot of these clean low mileage examples don't get driven a lot. So it was purchased in Texas. I believe it ended up in Maryland, and I have since met that owner. We were actually at Chocolate Fox, and he came up to me and he said, this is my old car, and I got to meet him. It was pretty cool to get to meet somebody that had some history with the car when it was stock, and I think he enjoys it as well now the way it is as I did. But after he sold it, ended up with a guy over in New York, and that's how the car ended up on eBay. Due to an unfortunate situation with him, he has since passed, and his father ended up with the car and listed it back on eBay with the consignment group that he purchased the car through, and that's where I saw it. So my stepdad and I, you know, have always kind of been into Mustangs. My father as well. My father's had a lot of cars, a lot of Mustangs on Muscle Mustang and Fast Forwards magazine and stuff like that. He's got a big history with Mustangs and building cars. 0304 Cobras, 96, 98 Cobras, and Fox bodies as well. But so when this car popped up, we were just kind of looking around, and I was like, hey, how cool would it be to have a 93 Cobra? I mean, my story started with an 87 GT in high school. That was my first car. So Fox bodies have always been in the blood. They've kind of just, you know, the nostalgia and the history with the car is there with me, and I've owned a lot of Mustangs over the years. So when this car popped up, I thought it's a cool opportunity to get in a 93 Cobra. It's the ultimate of the Fox bodies, I guess you could say, as far as the pinnacle. It's the last year of the cars. it was something special. And so we bought the car on eBay and brought it home, and I put 200 miles on it in 2 years. You know, didn't hardly ever drive it because I was scared, you know, something was going to happen to it. I mean, the cleanest car I'd ever owned, cleanest Fox body that I've experienced. It's just one of those things that the more you realize how hard it is to come by a clean one, the more, I guess, uncomfortable you are with, you know, driving a clean one on the roads and taking it out. So I wanted to sell it and buy a car with a little bit more miles that I can enjoy, and that's why I sold this car and ended up with a red 93 Cobra. And if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen the build of that car. It was basic, you know, nostalgic bolt-on B-cam Vortech car, stuff like that. But when this one came back up for sale, I thought, I got to see if I could get this car back, and it's kind of been history ever since. I mean, first day I brought it home, we went to Foxtoberfest with the car, like picked it up that night and took it to the show the next morning. It won the Mustang Week Staff Choice Award. Mike Clay picked this car as one of his favorite cars for the show, and we've pretty much been going to Foxtoberfest ever since. Been the Chocolate Fox, and this year probably planning to go to Fox Fest in Detroit. It did go to Foxtoberfest last year. It won the stereo competition. I did forget to mention that the car's got a full JL audio stereo system with JL audio subs. It's got two 12W6s in the trunk and all speakers and everything in the car, as well as an Alpine head unit. But so it did win a stereo competition, and then won the I guess it's like, I'm trying to think of what it is, Best Specialty Mustang Award. Like basically what that award is like Saleen's, Cobra, stuff like that, specialty cars. It was the best special edition or specialty car there. So it's won some events and been, you know, more than anything, just a talking point for me. It shows it's something I enjoy to take out. I like people to see the car and enjoy the car as much as I do. And hopefully everybody out there, you know, on Instagram and everywhere else in this video enjoys seeing it as much as I have and enjoys sharing it. A lot of people don't know a whole lot about 93 Cobras. They're the last generation of the Fox body. They were only available in 1993. There was a limited production of them. They only made about 5,000 of them. They only came in 3 colors, teal, black, and red, with 3 interior color options: opal gray leather, I believe it was opal gray cloth, and then black cloth. Obviously black cloth is, in today's world, the most desirable. Everybody wants the black interior. I feel like, me personally, that the opal leather kind of stands out, looks better on a teal car. I really love the black on black and black on the red, but the teal, personally, I like the opal a little bit better. The cars are, you know, few and far between. You don't see a lot of them nowadays. I mean, they're either in somebody's collection or you see a few drivers out on the road, but most people that have them don't take them out unless they take them to a show or something like that. And so a lot of people don't get to see them or don't know a lot about them. I mean, they were pretty unique. They came with a little bit more horsepower than a stock GT. They had different heads cam intake, different suspension tuning, rear gears. I think as mentioned, you know, other people might have mentioned, like, they don't have a cruise control, different brake booster. You know, there's some things specific. Most importantly, the ground effects. I mean, they had a different appearance package than a GT. So they're a pretty unique car for the Fox body generation. I think they're probably one of the most desirable in some ways for Fox body collectors, just because of the limited production and color combinations in the package. To me personally, I just think, you know, they're one of the better looking Fox bodies of the generation. You know, at least for guys that like a GT and stuff like that, the Cobra is just kind of the next step up from the GT. I do have some other cars in my collection. I mean, if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen them. Obviously, I had the red car that I sold. I've got a Shelby GT350 that is pretty much more my driver car, because I really can't take this one out and enjoy it like I'd like to. My wife, even though she loves and appreciates this car because she knows how much it means to me, doesn't care to really ride in it a lot. So the Shelby's more the driver that we get to get out and enjoy. But I also have a black 93 Cobra that I recently picked up here in the last year that we call the Crusty Cobra. It's a pretty rough, patinaed out, you know, clear coats all burn off the car, but it's been a fun resto project, and I think people appreciate it for what it is. Unfortunately, we didn't have it here today to put on the channel just due to timing and location, but it's a unique car. I mean, it's been its life in Florida, and it's, you know, was cooked out pretty heavy with the sun, and then I've kind of been restoring it on the side. So if you enjoy seeing that kind of stuff, I have that car as well. but this one's obviously my favorite of the group. I mean, I don't really have any future plans for the car. I think as far as modifications, it's pretty tastefully done. I don't think there's a whole lot you can do to the car to take it to another level. A lot of people try to get me to coyote swap it or do something with the engine, you know, as far as maybe a built bottom end or something like that, but I hate to take away from the originality of what's left. I like the stock engine bay, the stock panels. I mean, I think it fits this car well. I don't think there's a whole lot else you could do to it, so I don't personally plan to do anything else to the car, but just keep it clean, drive it, and enjoy it. At least when I have the opportunity. The other cars, you know, I'd plan to, you know, build or do something with them in the future, but this one's probably going to stay the way that it is. So I appreciate everybody coming in to watch today. If you enjoyed watching my car and hearing a little bit about the history of the car and myself, you can follow me, as I mentioned, on Instagram, jkennedysvt. Thank you for tuning in to the Cobra Owners channel today. You know, please jump on and, you know, give him a thumbs up, you know, comment or whatever you need to do to, you know, help this channel keep moving, because he's got a great channel and, you know, it's really well run. So I've enjoyed it. It's been a pleasure. Hope you enjoyed my '93 Cobra.